AmandaLand, AmandaLand, AmandaLand. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Views from AmandaLand, your news and truths by any joke necessary. We are here for another Monday, and we've got a great day ahead of us where we get to highlight the work that you all have done, because today is our assignment episode. I asked folks to write a paragraph or do a video about art as resistance, and we had a couple hiccups, but we got there. And so we are going to talk about, we're going to display some of those assignments today. And I really want to just thank everybody who took the time to do the assignment and to turn it in, understanding that this is a different kind of space, a different kind of show. It's not just about me informing and entertaining you. It's about you all also informing and entertaining each other, and also informing and entertaining yourself. So it's really it's a practice that we have to continue to do, and I hope to be a part of informing and encouraging that with you all as much as possible. So I hope everybody had a tolerable weekend. I mean, that's how low the bar is. The bar is like, can we just have like a tolerable weekend? There was a lot of things coming up, a lot of things happening that we have to talk about. So, by the way, side note, Jeremiah Walton just said, I just got done watching the newest Jubilee video. Hopefully you still get a chance to be on there or do something similar. Yes, I am supposed to go shoot mine in June, and it should be a good time. I'm not going to tell you the topic, but it's going to be a good time. So some of the things that I want to just correct before we go forward is I want to talk about habeas corpus. Before we even start the day, I want to talk about habeas corpus, because habeas corpus is becoming something really consistently talked about, and it's not really clear. And I can say that as somebody who got schooled on the difference between okay. Jeremiah said, ABSK Orpus K, Pig Latin. Yeah. Like ABSK Orpus K. I think they're going to do it regardless. And that's the, that is the fascism of it all. So pay attention, and thank you to the person on YouTube who clarified that for me and did so without trying to make me feel stupid. Now, did she need to use all caps as one of the words? No, that wasn't necessary. Wasn't necessary to all capsulate. Nonetheless, I appreciated the clarification. Okay, I appreciated the clarification. So, that being said, let's get into our hey, doom, 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 doom. We're here on a Monday. AmandaLanders here to learn. Drop in and tell me where you're watching from. Let's go. Let's get into it. Let's do it. AmandaLanders here to learn. Drop in and tell me where you're watching from. We got Loveland, Colorado on a Monday. Chicago for now. Pray for Captain Jess. Long Beach, LBC. Wisconsin, Charlotte, NC. Lafayette, Louisiana. Newark, New Jersey. We got Dublin, Ireland. Sunny afternoon tuning in. Tucson, Arizona. Newport Beach. Aurora, Colorado. Jacksonville, North Carolina, OCCA, H-Town, on his way to Barcelona. We got Corson, California, Kingston, New York, Atlanta, Milwaukee, Boulder, Colorado, Richmond, Sacramento. We got Portland, Oregon, and Naptown, Indianapolis. Cracking myself up. Cholula, Mexico, back in the building. We got Midtown Manhattan. We got Manchester, UK. We love it. Dallas, Texas, South Florida, Patterson, New Jersey, Fort Worth, Montgomery, Alabama, Antigua in the building, Virginia, Charlotte, North Carolina. We got Trinidad, rocking from London. We got, what else? We got Lucky Patch. How did I just find this jewel? Welcome to the squad. Inglewood, Inglewood, Mexico, OHIO. We got Brook, Vietnam, Memphis, Tennessee, Denton, Texas, and DC. Old Town, shout to the 407. What else we got going on? I said, AmandaLanders here to learn. Thank you for telling me where you're watching from. Yes. Your girl been up since 6 a.m. I ate a full breakfast. If you're like, she has a lot of energy today. I ate a full breakfast in peace. Like I didn't have to rush. I edited my book this morning. I've already accomplished what many people may have taken an entire day to do. I have already done today. Okay? I had raspberries. I had an egg and cheese sandwich, as well as a what else did I have? Oh, I had my favorite cereal, which is peanut butter panda. It's like panda balls, something like that, with oat milk. And I had some watermelon juice. Okay, so yeah, like your girl been at it. Your girl been at it. And I am very excited about what it's so interesting because as I say I'm excited about things, I feel like I'm betraying things because it's like in my own excitement, I then remember like how terrible the world is. And I'm just like, 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 does it even mean anything? Did I get the floors clean, Vicky Bell? Absolutely not. No, I did not. No, I did not. So I don't know about you all, but I definitely, it's kind of like survivor's guilt, even though I haven't survived. So I don't know if it's necessarily survivor's guilt as much as it's just, it's like I still have hope. Yesterday was Mother's Day, so shout out to all the mothers. I went flower shopping with Jordy, and so people was like, "Happy Mother's Day" to me with the dog, and I took it. I said, "All right, I'll take it. I'll take it." Thank you, Tawana. We do have to find joy somewhere. It's like I literally be telling y'all that, and then I don't be wanting to apply it to myself. Let me also just remind y'all, when you are commenting on people's videos and you feel any indication, any inspiration to comment on their physical appearance in any way other than a compliment, keep it to yourself. You feel me? Keep it to yourself. Yeah. I know sometimes you're like, but nope. I promise you, nope. It's not it. Nope. So like when I first came back from Grenada and my face was peeling and people felt the need to say like, oh, you need to take care of your skin. Nope. I don't need it from you. Nope. Amanda, are you wearing your sunscreen? Nope. I don't want it from you. I don't. And I don't know why you want to give it to me. I don't. I don't. People saying they like my shirt. Guess what? It's a dress! It's a dress! It's a dress, y'all. It's a dress. From nor black nor white, from India. It's a dress, y'all. It's a dress. From nor black nor white in India. Diana Craig, you better know there's pockets. Ooh, 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 ooh. I was doing some real fancy footwork just now. After I do this show, I'm going to go edit the book for another hour, and then I'm going to go plant some flowers. And then I'm going to edit the book for another hour, and then I'm going to plant some more flowers. And I'm going to edit the book for another hour, and I'm going to plant some more flowers. That's what we're doing today. So that's why I put this on, because it feels really inspirational to plant things. You've got a watering can right here. You've got flowers right here. You've got little fishies, and I do have a pond with fishies. And you've got a little jaguar right here hanging out. Yeah. I would love to get stuff like this made. Like, I don't want to actually sell. How do I put it? I don't want to do the work of making apparel out of my designs, out of my art, but I would love to see it. I would love to see it. Like, I just don't want to do the effort of it. What I have realized and what I've learned is possible is like being able to like make my own books and stuff. And that's something that I would definitely love to do. So AmandaLanders here to learn. Let's get into our word of the day. The word of the day is, hold on, I think we've already done that one. Let's go over here. The word of the day. Okay, we haven't done this one. The word of the day is grouse. Grouse. Not to be confused with gross. Grouse. It's a noun. It's a type of game bird. Grouse. Now, in the event of a word like this, a word that is about like a specific animal or something, what you can do is you can use it in terms of metaphor or analogy, right? So sometimes you're like, well, how are we supposed to use this? You use it in the instance of blah, 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 blah. You use it in the essence of analogy or metaphor. So a type of game bird. So that means, well, a game bird is a bird that they use to hunt, right? A game bird is a bird that can be eaten, etc. So a way that you can use this word is these billionaires be eating up the working class like grouse. See what I'm saying? Okay. Now, Celine has informed us that a grouse looks like a turkey's second cousin. Okay, it's a yard bird. Currently, according to Gregory Calloway, it's a yard bird. And thank you. I do consider this to be high praise. How to Lose Your Job in 10 Days has said that I look like Miss Frizzle today and that it is meant in high praise. And that is the only way I receive that. Grouse is a noun, y'all. It's a noun. Grouse. Fatima says, with his tendency to squawk loudly about policies without substance, Trump reminds us of nothing so much as a grouse. Yes. Connie says, ICE is hunting people like grouse. Yes, y'all are getting the hang of it. So this is how you use words when you see like, oh, that's just the name of something. This is how you use it. Libby Wiskowski says, in Wisconsin, all these men think grouse are more important than loved ones on hunting weekends. Oh my God, we just learned something about Wisconsin from Libby Wiskowski. Rena says, the grouse deserves to live free from harm, just like all of us. I'll give you that. Keyshawn says grouse, which is also a verb, can mean to complain or grumble, especially habitually or with little cause. So there we go. I just learned something new, that it can also be a verb. So Kishan follows it up with an example. I'm not here to grouse, but if Monday had a Yelp page, I'd have a strongly worded 3-star review. That's using grouse as a verb. All right. That's using grouse as a verb. Can we get one more using grouse as a verb so that we have represented grouse in its full grousery? All right. Not to be confused with grocery. Not to be confused with grocery. A mouse and a grouse made friends and bought a house. Okay, P, I'm going to go with that, but let's hear it as a verb. Let's hear it as a verb. Anybody, to complain habitually and without little merit. To complain habitually and without little merit. Why do I sound like I am doing an auction? Anybody, grouse, anybody, grouse, anybody is a verb, grouse, anybody is a verb. Going once, going twice. That's the end of the segment. Yeah. Oh, Carmen, right under the wire. Trump grouses about immigrants while hiring them. You better say that. You better say that. All right. Now, before we get into the assignments, I want to bring attention to this because it pissed me off. All right. So we know that we have been seeing the United States start their little grumblings, their manufactured consent around Burkina Faso. Now, by the way, most United Statesians ain't never heard about no Burkina Faso. Wait, hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. Hold on, because I've got something for you. Okay, so let me bring this up in here because I need y'all to see this. Did it not upload? There it is. Okay. Now, most United Statesians ain't never heard of no Burkina Faso until you started seeing that army general start running his mouth about Ibrahim Traore and the Sahel states in the Sahel region of Africa taking back their mines and their minerals, reasserting control of their own resources. We saw that the other day. And now today, I see this, and I don't like it. Al Jazeera English, cut it out. Cut it out. Now, you know when you start seeing stuff like this, and it is not fully supported, it's just being stated and said, there's no evidence, that you got to start asking yourself questions. Now, in the past, folks would just go along with stuff like this, right? They'll just be like, oh my God, see? And that is not what we are on. We ask questions. When we start seeing this in the pattern of trying to drum up negative propaganda, we can only assume this is also negative propaganda. And yes, like Fatima says, Al Jazeera is run by Qatar, and they definitely have their own agenda. Remember, Qatar is the same country that is trying to give Donald Trump an entire Air Force One jet. They are also the country that serves as the go-between to negotiate between Hamas and the Islamic Brotherhood. So Qatar is not Switzerland. And Switzerland ain't even Switzerland. All right? HRW is the Human Rights Watch. Okay? So in honor of this support that we need to be showing to Burkina Faso and the way that they have been showing up, or that Ibrahim Traore and his cabinet has been showing up for the people of Burkina Faso, y'all, we done got ourselves a Burkina Faso flag. All right? We done got our Burkina Faso flag. That's what we did. So let me put my Burkina Faso flag up right here. Okay. So we're going to be showing our Burkina Faso support. There it is. All right. That's what we doing. Keep Burkina Faso out your mouth. Other things to keep out your mouth. Asking me if I'm pregnant. Asking me about Issa Rae, and telling anybody that they are wrong for not wanting to vote for a genocider. Keep all of that out your mouth, as well as Burkina Faso. Okay. There we go. So, just wanted to get that out. And yes, let's always remember that the CIA killed Thomas Sankara, who was an incredible voice and an incredible speaker in support of Pan-Africanism and socialism, and who really was not somebody that, who really was somebody that the United States was afraid of, because he was able to get people to start thinking differently about not only Burkina Faso, but about the continent of Africa. Okay? The other thing about Thomas Sankara was that, well, y'all, he was fine. And I done told y'all that when folks be fine, it's troublesome. Okay? It's troublesome. He was also big into trees, and he believed the importance of trees in Burkina Faso getting its roots back into the soil. Like, that was like a big thing for him. Like, they said that he would literally just like ride up to people's cribs and talk to them about the trees. Like, that's what I'm on. If you trying to flirt with me, come and talk to me about the trees. Just so you know. That's a great way to flirt with me. You see that tree over there? What you think about that tree? That's a great way to flirt with me. What do you think about that tree? Yeah, this Sankara was fine. It's just we have to talk about realities all the time. All the time. That's a fine man. I don't care what nobody say. And that's not even a good picture of him. That's not even a good picture of him. Let me get you a picture to really understand the respect. Because we respect the mind and we respect the fine. We respect all of it. You know? We respect all of it here at Views from AmandaLand. We respect the mind and we respect. Here we go. This the one right here. When y'all see this, you're going to be like, okay, Amanda, we agree. See, it's coming. Wait for it. Wait for it, y'all. Cause you know, I don't just hand out fineness all willy-nilly. You telling me this man ain't fine? Are you telling me this man ain't fine? I know you not saying that. No. That's not cute. Cute is like Michael B. Jordan is cute. That's fine. Okay? That's fine. And he's like looking off into the distance at liberation. What? Come on, Smolder. You gotta say that, Chanel. That's where Zoolander got that look from. And they say with a high neck. They say with a high neck. Yes, it's old school handsome. It's put together. It's jazz music in the background. Because some people, we talk about 90s fine. 90s fine is a very specific aesthetic. This is 70s fine. So we're clear. Okay? This is 70s fine. Thomas Sankara was assassinated in 1987. The man, I'm sweating. I'm talking about it. Okay? Makia, I hit Makia with, 90s fine is a different thing. And yes, Ibram Traore is also fine. And sometimes people be arguing me with that. And I don't like it. Yes, because there's height in the mix. Okay? Tiffany says giving Akeem, yes. Yes. To be loved. Oh, Amma says they spent time in Burkina Faso. I loved my time in Burkina Faso, a beautiful country with beautiful people, and that was 2 years ago. My only complaint then was too much French presence. Congrats to them for correcting that. And that they did. They definitely did correct that. They said, get out of here. Okay? They said, get out of here. So, let's get into the whole reason we are here today. We are here to talk about your assignments. Excited about this because we had a little hiccup last week and now we're back on track. The assignment was to describe a current example of art as resistance. A, meaning one, a current existence. Example. Now, I will say this. Y'all be liking to do your own thing. And that's commendable. But there's a reason why I ask for things a certain way. I ask for one, because we don't got a lot of time. Also, because I'd rather you really expound upon one than several. Two, I said don't use copyright music. And some people used copyright music. Even after they resubmitted it, it still had copyright music. I know. So, unfortunately, that ended up getting some of the stuff canceled out because if I play it, it like shuts down the whole episode. Nonetheless, we also had really great examples, but I should have, and I feel like I shouldn't have had to say this, but if you wrote a paragraph about a type of art and you didn't include the example of the art, what? Come on. And I would like to be annoyed by that, but literally everyone did that except for one person, okay? One person said, let me actually show you the art I'm talking about. So I want to shout out, thank y'all for doing the project, but I also really want to shout out Gemma Ruiz for being the only person to actually include the example of the art. Because then what I end up having to do is I end up having to now then go and find the art to use in the show to support your point. So you gave me work. Now, if your submission doesn't get shown today, it's because you either didn't follow directions or it was similar to what someone else did, but I felt that the other persons may have presented the idea in a cohesive fashion, in a more cohesive fashion, or in a more what's the word I'm looking for? In a more explanatory fashion. Oh, it's pronounced Hema. How would I know that? Where are the G's pronounced H? What country is that? Where G's are pronounced H? Hema. Is that Greek? Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, psi, omicron, pi, rho, sigma, tau, epsilon, phi, chi, psi, omega. No, because it would be gamma. En España. Okay. En España. The G is an H. Gema. Okay. All right. Sandy said it was in her email. Good to know. Sandy is my TA. Sandy is my TA working overtime. 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 Mi gente! Got it. Espanol. Got it. So since I just shouted out Gema, let's start with Gema. Okay? Because why not start with Palestine? Hold on one second. I have to use the PDF setting. Zooby-doo-bop, shoo-doo-bop, I wanna love you. Shooby-doo-bop, computer love. All right. It's processing. It's processing. Voila. Art as Resistance by Gema Ruiz. This phrase is accompanied by a powerful image of a young girl wearing a hijab and the Palestinian flag in the background. This graphic design art is silkscreen printed onto a poster and also available as a downloaded PDF. Art is Resistance and Chicano artist Ernesto Llerena expresses political and social issues in bold and rich ways. The main image of the child pointing to the exclamation, "No genocide in Gaza, ceasefire now," cuts straight to the point. Graphic design throughout history has been used to propagandize the masses. Historical posters like Rosie the Riveter curling her bicep with the phrase, "We can do it," or an image of a Black Panther with the saying, "All power to the people," are recognizable and still relevant today. Art in this form is meant to elicit a pause, a critical thought, or sentiment. It can have a long-lasting effect and is crucial for inspiration to mobilize movements as well as contributing to unify activism. Stop the genocide, end the occupation, free Palestine. And then she has Ernesto Llerena's IG right there. So on a writing level, I just want to say that this is a really concise and effective paragraph. Because here, Gema gives us her point, then she explains it, then she supports it with other examples, and then she concludes it by readdressing her point and giving it action. So shout out to Gema Ruiz. This is a great submission and a great example. And one thing I also want to point out about this example is how it's cross-cultural, right? Like we're seeing a Chicano artist doing work that is representative of Palestine. And this also speaks to art as resistance, having the ability to be global, right? To cross these borders of difference that have been really excavated by folks to control us. And that is not something that we have to continue to buy into. And yes, I agree, Delisa Lee. There's something very important in that she states that this graphic design is silk screen printed onto a poster and that it's also available as a download PDF, because that is also letting the reader know that this is a piece of art that is available for everyone, right? And so when we're talking about art as resistance, art being available to everyone is also a part of its efficacy in resistance. So again, big ups. Big ups. Yes, Cassie, we love a good tool. So big ups to Gema Ruiz, this was an excellent submission, and I really appreciate you putting us into your schedule and making time to make this dope example. So let's get into another example. Let's get into another submission. And I got to tell you, the video submissions this go round were a little all over the place. I'm going to tell you the reasons why the ones that didn't make it. But we have two that did make it. And first up, we have Fatima, second time around.
Bad Bunny's new album, Te Vi Te Dar Mas Fotos, is the perfect example of art being used for resistance in 2025. There are many songs that talk about oppression and colonization, but one of my favorite ones is For What Happened to Hawaii. It's essentially a love letter to Puerto Rico, and Bad Bunny is telling a cautionary tale of the U.S.'s exploitation of Hawaiian land and warns the people of Puerto Rico. He says, "They want to take my river and my beach too. They want my neighborhood and your kids to leave. No, don't let go of the flag, nor forget the little lie." This song is really moving because it places Puerto Rico in a very specific context as being used for tourism like Hawaii. Indigenous people losing control of their land and the U.S. corporations only benefiting without pouring that money back into where it's coming from. It's so refreshing to see artists like Bad Bunny, who are mainstream and have such a big platform, talk about such uncomfortable topics that normally not all mainstream artists like to get into.
We are not American. Say it in your heart. Say it when you sleep. We are not American. We will die as Hawaiians. We will never be Americans. The Americans, my people, are our enemies. And you must understand that. They are our enemies. They took our land. They imprisoned our queen. They banned our language. They forcibly made us a colony of the United States. America always says they are democratic. Lies! That is a lie! They have never been democratic with Native people. They have never been democratic with Indians. They have never been democratic with Hawaiians.
The pride that Bad Bunny has in his people and his land is definitely felt in this album. The way he continues to rap and sing in English despite having a very mainstream English audience is resistance. If you haven't checked this album out, highly recommend you do so. If nothing else, you'll definitely be having a good time.
I think you meant to say Spanish, but we get it! Thank you, Fatima. Yes, I know that it was better with the actual music. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Le Paso, Hawaii. Yes. So shout out to you, Fatima. I thought that was really well done. And I think this is also a great example because it is existing in pop culture, right? Like Bad Bunny's at the Met Ball. Bad Bunny is like topping the charts. Bad Bunny is doing in his music what I feel like a lot of folks of the 70s were doing in Black music and that we're not really seeing that much of right now. I mean, there's literally like a couple, and we're actually going to talk about another one next. So shout to all of our Hawaiians who are watching and all of our Puerto Ricans who are watching. Wepa and aloha. But I think so many of us really have no idea how colonization happened in Hawaii. And when you see the clip of the woman who is, I forgot her name right now, but she is a constant organizer and activist against for the resistance in Hawaii. The fact that they had their language stolen is a key component hugely massive component to how we see this colonization take place. Jonathan adds, importantly for young people on the island, he's centering part of what has been dying, which is the love for our folkloric culture. And that's what the little lie is. So when he talks about like, don't let them take the little lie, like the little lie is like, it's like the, as you see my hands doing the texture, the little lie is like the roots of the people. Right? It's like I would say for Black Americans, like the little lie is like the spirituals, right? The little lie is the it's the soul. That's the little lie. It's the being of it's the essence. Yes, Deli Sali. Like in Grenada, the little lie it's in like I don't know why I'm over here like the little lie is the thing that makes it that makes the people what they are, the authenticity, the roots. Okay, the roots. Yes. So this song is off of Bad Bunny's album DTMF, Debí tirar más fotos, debí tirar más fotos que cuando te tuye. Yeah. So shout out to Fatima for that great video. And thank you for getting me together here. The activist that was at the end of that video was Hanani K. Trask. Hanani K. Trask. Now, Fatima, that would be my note, is that if you're going to use somebody speaking, particularly for that long, that we need to have them annotated in the video. Even if it's just a short graphic that comes up, I think it's important. I think it's important. So also because then it informs people to be able to go look for that person, right? To go look for that person. So Mary said that she saw in an interview that Bad Bunny was talking about that song and how it was a legit dream and he couldn't fall back asleep until he wrote down the song. I know about that life. And Mariana's flexing over here. She said the Trask sisters and family are aloha. Yes, of course. Of course. So she passed away? Hanani K. Tri passed away? But she looks so young there. Oh, well, rest in peace. Rest in peace to our comrade. So, we still with us? Because we got more for you. Speaking of dreams, I had a dream last night. Dang, I forgot it, but Lil Wayne was in the dream and he was completely clean and he had a seizure. And he was like completely clean off of drugs and he had a seizure. He was like, oh, you want to come to the house? I was like, oh, the house with the skateboarding thing on the roof? Like, I've been there. And he was like, no, a different house. Because we used to be homies. But there was also something going on in that dream. I can't remember. And then the night before, I had a dream that like a really big stag, like a really big deer had come into the yard. And I was like trying to get my mom to pay attention and she just like would not. And then a brown zebra came into the yard and I was again trying to get my mom to pay attention and she just like would not. But last night's dream was like, I want to say that I was in some sort of like CIA type situation in last night's dream. So yeah, but Lil Wayne was there and Lil Wayne was like, what's good? Like, what's up, homie? It was not like a sexual dream by any means. It was very much like, what's up, homie? And I was like, Weezy? And he had a Caesar and a clear eye. Okay? A full heart. He couldn't lose. All right. So let's get into this next example of art as resistance. Okay. Hold on. So one of the things that determined also whose pieces were selected was the uniqueness of the pieces, right? Because I didn't want to just have like all songs or all books, but I also felt like it was important to show different. So therefore, it was important to show different types of art. Okay, different types of art. Now we did just talk about music, but we talked about it in the context of the Bad Bunny song and Puerto Rico. And so this next one, though, is related to an artist who I didn't even know was Sudanese. And that is Boss, who is signed to J. Cole's Dreamville Records. And this is a paragraph by Melanated Bookworm. Melanated Bookworm says, I want to focus this assignment on hip-hop musician Boss's 2023 song Khartoum, the 16th and penultimate track on his more recent album, We Only Talk About Real Ish When We're Effed Up. In this song, Boss is confronting his anxiety and frustration from witnessing his loved ones suffering due to Sudan's famine and war crisis. He also notices the same problems mounting in other places like Ukraine. As stated in this lyric, I see Ukraine, I see two things that ain't the same, and yet they are. You change a name, change a face, I still feel the pain. It's hard to pick my favorite lyric / quotation out of this incredibly written piece of art as short as the time run is. Nevertheless, I consider it one of my favorite songs within the past 4 years and as an effective tool for progressive change. I think it is asking us, the listeners, to consider what is worth fighting for, how to utilize our time, research, and energy, and most importantly, how to prepare for when the dust settles after the conflict. You use semicolons there that you didn't have to use. I just want to point that out. Although these questions have been difficult to wrestle within ourselves, I can remain cautiously hopeful, like these words uttered in the song's conclusion. Apologize for what? I got the right to be upset. I think the world should be ashamed. I hope the world will make a change. I hope it starts soon. This one is for Khartoum. All right, Melanated Bookworm. All right. And yes, Ryan Elba, you also wrote on Boss. So that was really dope to see both of y'all wrote on Boss. What I really appreciated about this piece, Melanated Bookworm, is the use of the lyrics. I love how you culminated the piece with his lyric, but I also really appreciated this particular line. I think it is asking us as the listeners. I like that what you are doing here is stating what action you feel like this art as resistance is wanting to happen. Because that is what art as resistance does. It's not simply done to just put something on display. It's done to activate, okay? It's done to turn people up. Activism is not simply just about, oh, now I know about it. It's about, now I can do something about it. So when you put this sentence here about, you pondering, what do you think this piece of art is doing? And you say it's asking us to consider what is worth fighting for, how to utilize that word right there. That's an action word. Utilize our time, research, and energy. And most importantly, how to prepare for when the dust settles after conflict. I thought that was really thoughtful. And I appreciated just the conceptualizing beyond just like, oh, look, he did this thing about Khartoum, and now I know about Khartoum. Which, that's good, but the artist is typically wanting to do more than just tell you about it. So congrats to Melanated Bookworm. I appreciated this piece a lot. So, of course, we have talked about art in various forms, and another form that we're talking about is fine art. So we've talked about graphic arts, we've talked about music. Now I want to talk about fine art, and the importance in this context is because so often the fine art space is really reserved for a certain status of people, right? It's reserved for a certain echelon of folks. And those people are so often shielded from having to be active. Their money preserves their peace. So when we bring art as resistance into those spaces, we are causing disruption. So Courtney Gray wrote a piece on art, on artists Winnie van der Reijn and Ryan Bach and their collaborative exhibit, Nightmerica. Okay? Resistance and protest are essential to producing change, and art is one of the many tools individuals can utilize to highlight injustices. In the installation titled Nightmerica, a collaborative work from multidisciplinary artists Winnie van der Reijn and Ryan Bach, the artists use their respective mediums to convey the facetious, absurd, and even grotesque nature of the United States. Those are the artists right there. Van der Reijn's chosen textiles for this piece are distressed American flags. She has woven together and rearranged the physical elements of the flags to play with the symbolism of this familiar icon, allowing the audience to contemplate what they truly represent. When combined with Bach's drawings of puppets and other recognizable American symbols, the message becomes clear that America is a distorted menagerie. In one piece, Van der Reijn's tattered flag is pulled away to reveal Bach's depiction of an American stage underneath, with Lady Liberty teasing the crowd. The so-called symbol of innocence, valor, and courage hides the absurdity and whorishness hidden beneath. This piece, along with other resistance pieces, is so effective because it brings physical form to the feelings and ideas often shared by a society, but that are censored or potentially too dangerous to express. Art like this unifies us behind our common thoughts, allowing us to know we are not alone in our disparity, unease, and feelings of deceptions. Unity is the killer of oppression. And if we are all united in thought and purpose, we can bring forth authentic change. Great job, Courtney. Really, truly. Great job. Right here, when Courtney talks about how this art like this unifies us behind our common thoughts, that's what we do here at Views from AmandaLand, right? I feel like so many of us come here and, whether it's live or as a part of the rewatch, there's a conversation that is being had here that people a lot of times don't feel like they can have with other people in their more immediate circles. And that's what keeps us going so many times, right? That's what keeps us going so many times. I really appreciate that this also just invites so many of us in to something that we didn't know about. I sure didn't know about Nightmerica. I mean, the title Nightmerica itself is so profound, right? Like the concept of Nightmerica, because that's where we are. Nightmerica. So this was really dope. And it was, again, another example of cross-cultural resistance, right? Because Van der Reijn is Dutch. And also, it's a white person and a black person. And we know that race is real in terms of the repercussions of it. We see that in just the simple fact that Donald Trump is granting refugee status to 50 white South Africans, claiming that they have been facing persecution for their whiteness in South Africa, because the South African government is going to be taking back land that was stolen during the colonizing of South Africa. Let me just say that at the turn of the century, when the Afrikaners started coming through, they took over 90% of black land. 90%. They took it. They took it. Okay? They stole it violently. So when we talk about Donald Trump saying that there's white people in South Africa that are facing persecution for their whiteness. No, they are facing the repercussions for their thievery. And when we here in the United States, it's left to say, well, I don't feel like our generation should have to pay reparations for what the generations before us did. Well, honey, we are still living the repercussions of what your generations did generations before. Thus, there is still an onus due. So for these white people to be claiming that they are under duress because of their whiteness is typical victimization BS, and it is inaccurate, and it is absolutely wild to see how Donald Trump is not only granting them refugee status, he is paying for them to come here. Now, you telling me these aren't Elon Musk's besties? Okay? He's paying for them to come here. So, when you brown, they ain't down. But when you white, take a flight. Absurd. Absurd. All right. Speaking of being brown and them not being down. Our next example is coming from, I actually do not know who wrote this assignment. It didn't have a name assigned to it. No, it does. It's Carmen! It is Carmen! Yes! It's Carmen. Okay, Carmen Vila. So, Carmen wrote about Thomas Oyuso's photographs. Hold on. Here we go. Award-winning Honduran photographer / journalist Thomas Ayuso photographs his people in such a humane and nuanced manner. Despite their pain and suffering, inflicted under horrific circumstances, their demeanor in the photos reveals their resilience, resistance, and resolve. Thomas Ayuso's IG captions that go with the photos move people who follow him toward love and action. He does not lean on trauma porn to do that, but on treatment of his people's circumstances with dignity and sincere empathy. Subsequently, many of his followers start discarding the propaganda about the people in Honduras and other Latin American countries as shown by their insistence on fundraising for people he has photographed, such as buying art supplies for a young boy who displayed tremendous talent, or by rallying to find a safe place for a refugee in Los Angeles. That is the embodiment of art moving people toward resisting hate and wrenching their humanity back from those who peddle hate. I wanted to read you one of the captions that she references in this. So this is the photo, and this is the caption. On the island's far side, without a care for the capital's unrelenting political immolation, generations live and die under the half-light of a temporal locked village. The community floats, tethered begrudgingly to the mainland in the horizon over a dusk-hued sea. Just above the immaterial bioluminescence dwelling in the creatures of the twilight sea, and forever below the cosmic bands of galactic dusk, strafing the night's dizzying starfield, they live, somehow, in peace. Bruh. Come on! Carmen! Agreed, D. Williams. So what I really loved about this take was in addressing how by presenting through photography these individuals outside of the overarching propaganda, the overarching narrative, it individualizes the person and reminds people of the humanity in these people. Like, that's why I liked the movie 12 Years a Slave, because I know people were like, dang, another slave movie, but it felt very different because I felt like I was seeing people versus a movie about slavery. I was seeing a movie about people enslaved. And that was something that I feel like I hadn't really seen on the big screen. Roots does a good job of that too. So in this art form that Thomas Ayuso does and that Carmen has so generously shared with us, talking about how, I mean, displaying these individuals in Honduras, also showing the wide array of the Hondureños, right? That there are dark-skinned Afro-Hondureños. There are folks that are a part of the indigenous people of Honduras. Of course, there are folks that are descendants from the colonizers. And then, of course, there's the intermingling of all that, because that's just what humans do. We intermingle. But I loved the examples that you gave about how people are helping, right? It's not just in like, oh, he's talented, we're going to give him some art supplies. It was also like, oh, this person's in need, we're going to figure it out. And that's what community does. And so what you've described here is how art as resistance also creates art as community, right? It can be utilized as community. And we know that community is resistance. So I really appreciated that take. And it was, again, another unique take. And so I think what I want y'all to take from this as well is how you're seeing your fellow AmandaLanders not just identify a piece of art as resistance, but identify the unique way that that piece of art exists in resistance. Right? Because we've now shown a number of ways that resistance is experienced, as well as that resistance is carried out. And so I think sometimes we can think, oh, we just think in a very myopic way. But this is why it's so important that we do these assignments and that we have you guys bringing your perspectives into the space. I may be moderating the space, but ultimately I'm a vessel that is helping for all of us to expand. So let's go to one last one. And Adrian's going to bring us home.
We are flesh. Weeps, laughs, dances barefoot in the grass. Love your flesh. Love it hard. Yonder, they do not love our flesh. Oh, my people, they do not love your hands. Those they only use, tie, bind, chop off, and leave empty. Love your hands. Raise them up and kiss them.
I want to remind us all that art is dangerous.
Great job, Adrian. Great job. Truly. That's Toni Morrison at the end. And she finishes that quote by saying that it's the artists who always get attacked and they always come for the artists. Thus, we need to protect the artists. That's a literal quote. I start my show, What Would the Ancestors Say, with that voiceover. And with this video, so when I first started watching it, I was like, oh, she's taking my hair. She's saying the hair. That's what it is. That's what she's saying. The hair is resistance. However, what we see is that it's the body that's resistance. And that your body can be your source of art. And the adornment and how you are showing up in the space. Now, this Wednesday, we're going to have the creators of For Your Viewing Pleasure. It's a clothing line that started in 2022. And they do shirts and sweatshirts and all types of things that are giving voice to the Palestinian resistance, but as well as other resistance movements. And so they're going to be joining us on Wednesday to talk about the line and the necessity for, people to be able to speak their world and their values literally on a shirt. So I really loved how the video that Adrian did continued to expand how art as resistance takes place in our bodies, but then to also show the image of the Palestinian individuals who were being tethered with the ID bracelets. It also exemplifies how our bodies, because they are resistance vehicles, can be used by the state, right? The imprisonment of our bodies. And I really appreciated the voiceover. I don't even know where you found that. My only note would be that some captions I think would be helpful, because the images are so strong and the voice that's speaking is also so strong that I know for someone like me, sensory wise, just being able to see the words at the same time would help me like really take it all in. So and Libby says, in the disability immunocompromised community of which I'm a part of, we often say my disabled body is revolutionary. Existing is resistance. I think that I just want to make a point that everyone who submitted, I really appreciated your thoughtfulness and the effort that you took in submitting this work. I know that we all have lives that require a lot of us. So that is not lost on me by any means. I simply just also know that part of our lives is about having to expand to bring education back into our purview in a very real way. It's not something that can be seen as just like, oh, if I have time. It's something that we have to decide to make time for, because we are the only ones who are going to save us. We're the only ones who are going to save us. And that really is the truth. Now, there was an additional video that was submitted, and I would love to show this video simply because I was very honored to even receive it. And I really am in my own transition period of my life. And so I appreciated this video also because it felt affirming for me. And so I hope that you all will watch this video and see yourself in it as well, because that is really the goal, for us to see each other in all the ways and in all the things. So hold on one second, because, I be thinking I got it together and then I don't got it together. I don't know where'd the video go. I downloaded it and it's just not here. So I did all that intro and I thought it was going to be really seamless. And then it's just, where to go? Yes, download. Okay, it should be here now. I don't know why it's giving me hell. Shooby-doo-bop, shoo-doo-bop, I wanna love you. Shooby-doo-bop, computer love. Oh no, hold on, I gotta convert it real quick. Hold on. Oh no. Oh no, for some reason the file is not, it says it's not able to be Download it. What kind of format is this file? Lavon? Type of file. Hold on. Where's the type of file? What is this file name? File details. It's not showing me what. No, I should be able to download this file. It exceeds the maximum file. Okay. But I don't know why it's not showing me this. Hold on 1 second. I'm troubleshooting in real time. Lavon, you're gonna have to resend this to me as an MOV or an MP4. For some reason, it's not letting me post this. And I can't even tell what type of file it is, what the extension is. But anyways, y'all, Lavon made a really nice video about me, so I was gonna post it. But we'll get back to that. We be here, so we'll be able to we be here, so we'll get it back up. So that was today. How do you all feel? How do you all feel? Y'all are in the chat like, I saw that video. That was a fun one. So Kareen Stevie is asking what the assignment was about. So y'all hip her to what the assignment was about in the chat. You know, this is a different kind of environment. I love it. I'm so appreciative of y'all, and we're going to consistently be doing these. I feel like this was really dope. And I feel like we got even further along with this one than the first assignment. So that means that we are elevating. And shout out to all of my SEAL Squad members, Patreon. I appreciate you all for being a part of the Patreon and the SEAL Squad. I was telling them at the SEAL Squad, I'm hemorrhaging SEAL Squad members, and I can only attribute it to the fact that we are also hemorrhaging jobs. People don't got money. People don't got jobs. People are having to do all types of stretching and whatnot just to survive these days. So that $5 ends up going a long way. But I appreciate everybody who, even if they can't subscribe to Patreon, comes on over here and shows us love here at Views from AmandaLand. I do have, actually, a PSA. So let's get into it. AmandaLand. PSA. So there's been a lot of commentary and a lot of talk as of late in regard to Ibrahim Traore, but also there's been a lot of talk and a lot of commentary as of late in regard to Rodney Hinton Jr. and the retaliation of taking the life of a police officer after his son Ryan Hinton Jr. was shot in cold blood. And people have their thoughts about it. Many people don't have the actual full story, right? So let me just enumerate for you all what took place versus what has not been really largely picked up by the media, but has been reported by the police, which is the fact that these young men were not driving around in a stolen car. They were actually asleep in a car that had been reported stolen because a payment for the car had been missed. Let me repeat that. They were asleep in the car because they couldn't get into their crib. So they slept in the car, and the car had been reported stolen because of a missed payment. When the police rolled up, they did not knock on the window. They did not try to ascertain what the situation was. They pulled up. The brothers got out as they would and started running as they should, because they know that when you put black people with the police in the hood, it's probably going to go left. And Ryan, while running, tripped. his gun fell out of his pocket, and he was shot up. It should be also noted that you can have a gun in Ohio. They have open carry. We have seen over and over again the narrative that if you are Black and you have a weapon, you are absolutely a danger to the police, even in states where you are allowed to have a weapon. Florida, Texas, Ohio, Tennessee. The brother, remember the Marine who was, I don't know if he was a Marine, but he was in the military. He was in his own house. The police knocked on his door. He opened the door holding his pistol, and they killed him in cold blood. He was in his own house. So when we talk about the retaliation of Rodney Hinton Jr., we have to remember that the story is, one, always bigger than what we're being told. But two, we have to remember that violence is not something we can simply just virtue signal away. We cannot simply just say, well, that's what they do, but that's not what I do. It really bothers me when I see people contextualize it in that way, because it suggests that any type of violence is somehow not necessary. It suggests that violence, when in response of repercussion, when in response as a resistance tool, as a revolutionary tool, is somehow not viable or valuable. And I want to just remind you all that nothing is simply just black and white, except for genocide, by the way, except for genocide. But this concept of, well, he shouldn't have because, that is not practical. And I made a video in my car this weekend that I want to play for you. So here's the inconvenient truth. In a carceral state defined by violence or suppression, oppression, where productivity, where property are all ruled by violence, regardless of whether or not you are violent, your only tools for effectively challenging the violence end up being violence. Now, whether or not you are the one committing the violence, are you supporting the violence, are you enabling the violence? Regardless, because the tool being used is violence to literally uphold the society, whether or not you as a person live in violence, your life is held in violence. And I think that's a really inconvenient truth for a lot of people. And I see those people up here talking about, you know, their virtue signaling around who gets to enact violence, what it says about you to partake in violence, particularly when it is for the pursuit of liberation. And I just want you to know that it becomes your only tool for ending the violence. I think when we say things like Jack said, that's not helpful, it shouldn't be happening, period, regardless. I don't know what you mean by that, but two things can be true at the same time. And I can't remember I'm sure there's an African proverb that sums this up, but The reality is, though things shouldn't be this way, they are. And sometimes the only way to undo them is to use their own medicine. And that's it. PSA. Hey, come on now. Show it, show it, show it, show it, show your love, show your love. Come on, y'all, show your love, show your love. Hey, y'all did so good on the assignment. Y'all did so great right here. Y'all threw your hat in the ring, and all of us, we cheer, say, good for you, good for you, good for you, good for you. Thank y'all so much for showing your love by doing your assignments today. Thank you to the 2 people who gave supers today. Really appreciated everybody's insights, and this was, as usual, a special class. Tomorrow we'll be back to normal. We actually will be having a great guest tomorrow. On Instagram, he's Ray's D Wild, and he is what is Ray's title? Because he has like a whole interesting title that I need to make sure that I do properly. He is a biologist, educator, and a certified beekeeper. And you can follow Ray's D Wild at Ray's D Wild, and he'll be joining us tomorrow to talk about how nature is such an incredible part of raising his 2 sons that we see on Instagram, and how it really has served to be an incredible tool in parenting. So looking forward to having Ray join us tomorrow. I've been watching his kids grow up and interact with animals, and just there's a particular video I saw where he was getting them to come across a log on a creek, and his second son had to self-regulate in the middle of the running across the log, but he did it. He got it there. You know what I'm saying? Because he was like, no, you can do it, son. Come on, son. And I just love seeing nature utilized in real time as a way to really teach the children. And I love seeing Show Your Love sang in real time by your 3-year-old niece. See, we teaching the children. We teaching the children. So we'll be back tomorrow with another episode of Views from AmandaLand. I've also been working on the next drop, and I'm very excited about that. Want you all in New York City to mark your calendars. I will be doing a free show of What Would the Ancestors Say on Saturday, May 31st at the People's Forum. I'll get a graphic together and put it up, but I'm just telling you now so you can mark your calendar. At the People's Forum. Looks like we have also found a date for the AmandaLand Summit. So looking for that. So we've got a lot coming up that I'm excited to share with you all. So make sure that you stick around. Make sure that you go follow my newsletter at amandaseals.com, and make sure that you come right back here to join us tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. right here to get your news and truths by any joke necessary and wake up on the right side of history. That's it for another episode of Views from AmandaLand. I'll see y'all tomorrow. 30 seconds of stillness. I enjoyed laughing and learning with you. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And tell your friends. Also, listen to the podcast. It's available everywhere pods are casted. Listen ad-free by subscribing to Patreon Amanda Seals. Come on and join the Seal Squad. Views from AmandaLand, live 10 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Wednesday, with content on Thursday and Friday at YouTube Amanda Seals TV. Smart, funny, and